The annals of the American West, there are stories of legendary lawmen, notorious outlaws. Among these is Nicholas Porter Earp, a man whose life embodies the spirit of adventure, resilience, and the pursuit of justice. He's the father of the famous Western lawmen Virgil, Wyatt, and Morgan Earp, and their little-known brothers James, Newton, and Warren Earp. He did various professions throughout his life, including serving as a justice of the peace, a farmer, herder, policeman, smuggler, driver, and teacher. Nicholas Earp was born on September 6, 1813 in Lincoln County, North Carolina, to Walter Earp and Martha Ann Early. The Earp family is of English and Scotch-Irish descent. The first Earp immigrant into the American colonies was Thomas Earp Jr., who arrived in County Arundel on July 6, 1674, as a contracted servant from Ireland. He was buried at St. Anne's Parish in Annapolis. Nicholas, named after a prominent Kentucky equestrian judge, whose name is derived from the Annapolis parish of St. Anne. Walter Earp, Nicholas's father, was born in Montgomery County, Maryland in 1787. He was a fifth-generation Marylander and later pursued an educational career at the School of Justice of the Peace in Monmouth, Illinois. In addition, he serves as an Episcopal Methodist preacher. Shortly after Nicholas was born, the family moved from Virginia to Hartford, Kentucky in 1813, where Nicholas spent the rest of his childhood. As a young man, Nicholas bravely participated in the Black Hawk War of 1831. He went on to serve as a sergeant in the Mexican-American War, where Nicholas served under Captain Wyatt Barry Stapp of the Illinois Mounted Volunteer Team. Initially, Nicholas wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and pursue a career as a lawman. However, before moving to practice law, his family moved from North Carolina to Kentucky, where he began farming. During that time, Nicholas also served as the police chief. On December 22, 1836, in Hartford, Nicholas Porter married Abigail Storm. They have 2 children, Newton Jasper Earp, Mariah Ann Earp. Before long, Abigail Storm fell ill and died on October 8, 1839, in Ohio County, Kentucky. 2 months later, his little daughter passed away at the age of 10 months. On July 30, 1840, Nicholas married Virginia Ann Cooksey, better known as Jenny, in Hartford, Kentucky. Together, they had 8 children: James Cooksey Earp, Virgil Walter Earp, Martha Elizabeth Earp, Wyatt Barry Stapp Earp, Morgan Seth Earp, Baxter Warren Earp, Virginia Ann Earp, Adelia Douglas Earp. In 1845, Nicholas Earp, with his wife Jenny, sons James, Virgil, and Newton, and daughter Martha, moved from Kentucky to the fertile farmlands of western Illinois. They settled in the town of Monmouth, Illinois, looking for new opportunities. In December 1847, Nicholas, a 33-year-old cavalry sergeant, was wounded after being kicked by a mule. This incident forced him back to Monmouth to recuperate, while his wife, Jenny, who was pregnant at the time, supported him through his ordeal. 4 months later, Nicholas and Jenny welcomed a newborn son. Nicholas named his newborn son Wyatt Earp after his commander in the Mexican-American War, whom he admired and respected, Captain Wyatt Barry Stapp. In March 1849, Nicholas Earp and a group of men from Monmouth County, Illinois, made a trip to California, where he intended to search for good farmland, not gold. He decided to move to San Bernardino County, in the southern part of the state. Nicholas returned to Illinois and the family left for California, but their daughter Martha became ill and died. Nicholas changed plans and moved to Pella, Iowa. Their new ranch is 160 acres and 7 miles northeast of Pella, Iowa. 8 years later, on March 4, 1856, Nicholas decided to sell his Pella, Iowa farm to Aquilin Waters Noe, and the family returned to Monmouth, Illinois. After being elected sheriff of the town, Nicholas served in the position for about 3 years. However, in 1859, he had to stand trial and was eventually found guilty of smuggling. At the time, Nicholas was unable to meet the fines imposed by the court, resulting in his property being placed in lien. On November 11, 1859, his property was put up for auction and then sold. Just 2 days later, Nicholas and his family decided to leave Monmouth, returning to Pella. Throughout 1860, Nicholas apparently visited Monmouth regularly to finalize the sale of his property. At the same time, he also faced a series of debt-related lawsuits and allegations of tax evasion during this time. During the Civil War, Nicholas served in Pella, Iowa as Field Marshal of the United States for recruitment. His sons Newton, James, and Virgil joined the Union Army on November 11, 1861, while Nicholas devoted himself to the task of recruiting and training local companies. His young son Wyatt, along with his brothers Morgan and Warren, is responsible for the 80 acres of corn. Even though he was only 13 years old, Wyatt aspired to join the army. He ran away and enlisted many times. However, each time his father found him and brought him home. At that time, James was mortally wounded at Frederickstown, Missouri, and then returned home in the summer of 1863. Newton and Virgil also fought bravely in many battles in the East. On May 12, 1864, Nicholas Earp was hired to lead a railroad car to California. Together with his wife and children, Wyatt, Jim, Morgan, Warren, and Adelia, the Earp family embarks on this new journey. Joining them on the first train were 3 other families from Pella: the Rousseaus, the Hamiltons, and the Kurtzes. 7 more carriages joined them on the trip. According to the diaries of the Utah immigrants on board the train, Nicholas was an irritable and unapproachable man. Sarah Jane Rousseau wrote in her diary during the 7-month trip that Nicholas Earp was unsophisticated in response. It drove him horribly mad and he wanted to kill people. He used very obscene language, and he was hard to appease. On December 17, 1864, the party arrived in San Bernardino, California. Nicholas decided to rent a farm near the Santa Ana River, near present-day Redlands. For the next year, Virgil took a job driving a freight wagon to Salt Lake City with Wyatt accompanying him. They later found employment at Union Pacific, a company involved in the construction of the Western Transcontinental Railroad from Omaha, Nebraska. The brothers worked tirelessly as part of the team, using picks and shovels. Of course, Jim and Morgan also leave their home in San Bernardino and venture to mining towns in Montana. By the spring of 1868, Nick, Jenny, Morgan, Warren, and Adelia were back in the Midwest, specifically Lamar, Missouri, where Nicholas assumed the role of local police. However, on November 17, 1869, Nicholas decided to resign to become Justice of the Peace. After they moved to Missouri, Wyatt quickly succeeded his father as sheriff. Both Wyatt and Morgan traveled from Illinois to their family residence in Lamar, Missouri to celebrate Adelia's 11th birthday on June 16, 1872. In 1877, Nicholas and Virginia Earp returned to California, settling in San Bernardino County. 1880 United States Census records show that Nicholas Earp's family included Warren and Morgan, along with Louisa, Morgan's wife. Nicholas is listed as a farmer. Additionally, Nicholas serves as one of the founding members of the California San Bernardino Pioneers Association. As for Morgan, he ended up going to Tombstone, Arizona. After Virginia's death on January 14, 1893 in San Bernardino, then 80-year-old Nicholas married Annie Elizabeth Cadd on October 14th of the same year. On February 12, 1907, Nicholas Earp died at the Soldiers' Home in Sawtell, California, shortly after he was elected to the Los Angeles County Court. He was buried in West Los Angeles at the Los Angeles National Cemetery. Interestingly enough, he outlived 6 of his 10 children. Nicholas's 3 sons, Virgil Earp, Wyatt Earp, and Morgan Earp, all became famous lawmen. They were important figures in the gunfight at the OK Corral.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.